Welcome back to All Things Roman Empire, where we step into the everyday world of ancient Rome. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating aspects of Roman civilization, their architecture. We'll uncover how Roman buildings were constructed, what materials they used, how long it actually took to complete their marvels, and some fascinating facts that reveal just how advanced the Romans truly were. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Roman architecture is not only iconic, but also one of the main reasons their empire lasted as long as it did. Roman architecture didn't appear overnight. Much of it was influenced by the Etruscans and the Greeks. From the Greeks, the Romans borrowed the use of columns and decorative elements. But the Romans weren't satisfied with copying. They innovated. One of the most important inventions they perfected was concrete. Roman concrete, known as opus caementitium, was far more durable than modern concrete because it contained volcanic ash. This unique mixture allowed buildings like aqueducts, bridges, and even the Colosseum to withstand centuries, and in some cases, nearly 2,000 years of earthquakes, weather, and wear. Unlike stone construction, which required precise cutting and labor, concrete allowed Romans to pour massive structures quickly and cheaply. This innovation completely changed the speed and scale of construction in the empire. So what exactly did they use to build? Concrete formed the backbone of Roman construction. Travertine stone, a type of limestone, was popular for larger monuments. The Colosseum's outer walls, for example, were built with travertine blocks. Marble was used for decoration. It gave Roman buildings that sense of grandeur and status. Augustus famously boasted that he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. Brick and tile were used everywhere, especially for residential and utilitarian buildings. Materials were chosen strategically. For example, volcanic stone from Mount Vesuvius, called tufa and pozzolana, gave Roman concrete its strength. They didn't just use what looked good, they used what lasted. You might be wondering, with all this grandeur, how long did it actually take to build these famous structures? The Colosseum took about 8 to 10 years to build, starting under Emperor Vespasian in 72 CE and completed under Titus in 80 CE. That's lightning fast when you consider it could hold up to 50,000 spectators. The Pantheon, with its incredible dome, took about 5 to 7 years under Emperor Hadrian. Its dome remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. Aqueducts varied in length of time depending on their size and location, but a medium-sized aqueduct might take a few years to complete, with thousands of laborers working in teams. How did they do this so fast? It wasn't just slave labor, though that was certainly a large part of it. Romans also relied on skilled engineers, architects, and an organized system of labor. Workers were divided into groups, each specializing in tasks like masonry, carpentry, or transporting materials. This specialization allowed construction to happen on an industrial scale. One of the most impressive Roman innovations was the arch. While arches existed before, the Romans used them everywhere: aqueducts, amphitheaters, basilicas, and bridges. The arch distributed weight evenly, which meant they could build taller and wider structures than their predecessors. They also pioneered the vault and the dome. The Pantheon's dome is a perfect example. At its base, the concrete is thick and heavy. As you move upward, the mix becomes lighter, even including pumice, a volcanic rock that floats on water. This precise engineering reduced the weight at the top, preventing collapse. And let's not forget aqueducts. These weren't just water pipes. They were monumental pieces of infrastructure, using gravity and arches to deliver millions of gallons of fresh water into cities every day. Some aqueducts stretched for over 50 miles. Here are some fascinating details about Roman architecture you might not know. Roman concrete actually gets stronger over time, thanks to a chemical reaction between volcanic ash and seawater. Some modern scientists are studying it to improve our own concrete. Many Roman apartment buildings, called insulae, were up to 6 or 7 stories tall. Imagine a Roman version of a modern apartment block. Most people know the Colosseum as the home of gladiator battles. But did you know it also had something that feels almost futuristic? A retractable roof system called the velarium. Today, we're going to uncover how the Romans engineered a giant canvas canopy to shade tens of thousands of spectators, nearly 2,000 years ago. The velarium was a massive awning that stretched over the Colosseum seating areas. It didn't cover the entire amphitheater, but it shaded about 2/3 of the audience, protecting them from the harsh Roman sun and even light rain. At the very top of the Colosseum, there were 80 stone brackets built into the outer wall. Wooden masts, as tall as modern telephone poles, were placed into these sockets, jutting outwards. This wasn't a simple job. The system required hundreds of men to manage the ropes and canvas. But these weren't just any workers. They were sailors from the Roman Navy. So the next time you picture gladiators fighting in the Colosseum, remember this? Above them, high in the sky, a team of sailors was operating one of the most advanced retractable roof systems the world had ever seen. The sailors were experts at handling sails, rigging, and massive ropes on warships. The Colosseum essentially borrowed their skills to turn an amphitheater into a shaded arena. Without them, the velarium wouldn't have worked at all. From those masts, ropes and pulleys were strung across the stadium. Huge triangular pieces of canvas were attached and pulled across, creating shade. Think of it like a giant ship turned upside down, with sails stretched out to cover the crowd. And here's the best part. The design not only blocked sunlight, but also helped channel breezes into the stadium, keeping spectators cool during long, hot afternoons. Imagine sitting in an ancient stadium that could seat over 50,000 people, and above you, giant sheets of canvas are pulled into place like sails on a ship. That's exactly what the velarium looked like. Sailors from the Navy were in charge of hoisting massive canvas sheets to provide shade for the audience. Roads were so well built that some are still in use today, nearly 2,000 years later. The saying, "all roads lead to Rome," wasn't just a metaphor, it was practical truth. In the end, Roman architecture wasn't just about beauty. It was about functionality, speed, and durability. Their techniques influenced Renaissance architects, inspired modern engineering, and continue to shape how we design cities today. Without Roman innovation, we might not have skyscrapers, sports stadiums, or massive bridges. The legacy of their arches, domes, and concrete lives on every time we step into a modern city. So that's a closer look at the brilliance of ancient Roman architecture. How it was built, how long it took, the materials used, and the amazing innovations that still inspire us today. Now I'd love to hear from you. If you could step inside any Roman building in its original glory, which one would you choose? The Colosseum, the Pantheon, or maybe a bustling Roman bathhouse? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the ancient world, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to All Things Roman Empire, and hit the bell so you never miss an episode on Roman Daily Life.